Thank you very much, sir. My question is to the Attorney-General. Attorney, what measures are you undertaking to ensure that the Coroner's Office is appropriately resourced to reduce the backlog on the issuance of Forensic Science South Australia post-mortem reports? And, sir, with your leave and that of the House, I will further explain.
Leave is sought. Is leave granted? Yes, sir. Member for Waite.
Thank you, sir. Sir, recently a constituent has contacted my office and expressed her concern and distress at waiting more than 17 months to receive a final death certificate for her late husband.
The Attorney-General.
Thank you, and I thank the member for his question. And it is a question that has been asked and is a concern that this government met when we came into office, that there was not only a backlog in cases in relation to waiting for inquests, but also there was a significant delay in receiving permission in cases for the allowing of burials and or cremations, of course, but for the services. So there are a number of initiatives the government took. One was to provide for and install a CT scanner with Forensic Services SA, which on recollection has reduced autopsies by 30%, thus enabling a much quicker processing of all of the cases that require the more lengthy process. Secondly, the provision for interim death certificates is made available, if that's the matter that's holding up the information, usually to enable access to the bank accounts of the deceased, the insurance opportunities, sometimes to be able to progress the distribution under estates. That information is important to get, and an interim death certificate can be sought. The delay for those not your constituent, as the member has raised, the member for Waite's constituent, who appears to be waiting not specifically in this area, but for those that are waiting actually an inquest, that is a matter that's determined entirely by the coroner as to what inquests they do. Some are mandated, obviously, like deaths in custody and the like, and some go to a full hearing in relation to that. So the Act sets out quite clearly what has to have a level of inquiry. However, there's a significant discretion on behalf of the coroner to undertake inquests in relation to other matters or patterns of death. And it may well be that the coroner, as he has in other occasions, looked at a pattern of death, such as number of aged people who die during hot weather, for example, is one that was done in recent years. I would expect ultimately the coroner will look at deaths in South Australia in relation to the potential comorbidity around COVID deaths. But certainly at the moment he's keeping a check on all deaths in relation to this insidious situation with COVID-19, and is, I think, in almost daily reporting to the Chief Psychiatrist to ensure that we are monitoring any deaths that may arise out of someone taking their own life during this time. So there's a lot of extra work being done. The coroner's report has been tabled. In fact, I think I tabled it yesterday here in the Parliament, and that sets out the current backlog in relation to cases that are waiting to be heard. I am about to do the comparison with the last couple of years, but I've done the previous couple of years. There's been a reduction. We've got a new coroner, but it's not necessarily because Mr David Whittle's the new coroner. He's certainly been able to achieve that. But during COVID, a number of the magistrates who were unable to undertake their court work assisted the government in a number of other ways, and one of them was to assist in the coroner's backlog of cases that had accumulated, which simply required a documentary assessment. And those files, I understand, were delivered to the magistrates, were able to assist in providing, again, assistance to deal with the backlog in relation to those matters, that's document assessment. For the benefit of members who don't know this, all magistrates are also deputy coroners, and so they've got a capacity to be able to undertake this work. So, look, it's been an unusual year, but it seems, on the face of it, there's been a reduction, in the outstanding cases, but on the specific point in relation to death certificates, an interim death certificate can be available, and if the member has any further questions on behalf of the constituent, I'm happy to follow it up for him.